Very good. Say hands up, y'all say Uhuru, hands up, hands up. When I say hands up, you say Africa, hands up, hands up, hands up, Uhuru, hands up, Africa, hands up, Uhuru, hands up, hands up, Uhuru. My name is Chairman. I'm very excited to be here. I am a proud member of the African People's Socialist Party. I'm also your newly appointed Southern Regional Representative. Located right here in St. Petersburg, Florida, famously known as the Uhuru House. We have 3 Uhuru houses, one in Oakland, California, one here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and one in St. Louis, Missouri. That's our most recent one. But we want an Uhuru House in every city, every state, every country, every continent. And I'm just so excited because this is going to be one of the most influential cases. The sentencing is tomorrow, Monday, December 16th, 8 a.m. We're having a press conference right on the steps of the courthouse. That's the Tampa Federal Courthouse at 801 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. Then court begins at 9 a.m. sharp. We're going to pack that courthouse just like we did for the trial. Court ends at noon. We're going to have lunch at the Tampa Armature Works. That's going to be at 1910 North Ola. Then we're going to have a rally, a summation, and a press conference right here at the Uhuru House. I want to thank every single one of you who came, who showed up. It's been over 2 years, and you have stuck with us. You have stood by our side, organizing, donating, spreading the word. And I really just want to give a really heartfelt thank you to everybody who has been organizing and supporting us. I want to salute everyone who is a part of the Black is Back Coalition. Thank everyone who's tuning in. You know, we have our comrades even all the way in Africa where it is hard for them to get internet service, but they make sure that they are tuned in because as members of the African nation, we have to stay organized under the umbrella of African internationalism. And that is the theory, the brilliant theory of our chairman, Omali Yeshitela, who the FBI decided to launch a political assault on and lost. Yeah. The lies, the ridiculous lies, and lost, and we told the truth, and we won. So before we dive into the program, we are going to sing for all of our beautiful voices from the bottom of our heart, our beautiful African national fight song. It's written by our comrade Aliki Ngoma, and then after that, we're going to watch a short video that captures the events of that violent raid. The lyrics are going to be on the screen. My name is Jada Bullamumba again, and this is...
I'm Matsunela Odom, President of International People's Democratic Uhuru.
There's a train that comes from Namibia and Malawi. There's a train that comes from Zambia and Zimbabwe. There's a train that comes from Angola and Mozambique, from Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland, from all the hinterlands of southern and central Africa. This train carries young and old African men who are conscripted to come and work on contract in the gold and mineral mines of Johannesburg and its surrounding metropoli. 16 hours or more a day for almost no pay. Deep, deep, deep down in the belly of the earth, when they are digging and drilling for that shiny, mighty, evasive stone, or when they dish that mishmash mash food into their iron plates with the iron shovel, or when they sit in their stinky, funky, filthy, flea-ridden barracks and hostels, they think about the loved ones they may never see again because they might already have been forcibly removed from where they last left them, or wantonly murdered in the dead of night by roving and marauding gangs of no particular origin. We are told. They think about their lands and their herds that were taken away from them with the gun and the bomb and the tear gas and the Gatling and the cannon. And when they hear that choo-choo train, a chugging and a pumping and a smoking and a pushing and a pumping, crying and a steaming and a chicken and a wah, wah, they always cuss and they curse the coal train that brought them to Johannesburg.
We have created the Black Power Blueprint because we are very serious about overcoming the grave disparities in this country and city between the conditions faced by white people and by Africans. The Black Power Blueprint is a struggle for African community economic and political power. It is against the system that is responsible for our poverty and powerlessness. It is this powerlessness that is responsible for the fact that the average household wealth for a white family is 22 times greater than the wealth of an average African household. It is the absence of power that is responsible for the huge gap in the lifespan of African and white people in the U.S. and in St. Louis. There are few African-created job opportunities in our community. We are confronted with massive decay of the housing stock that has been left unattended and which is difficult for the African population to acquire for shelter and industry. We are opposed to the idea that the best response to these conditions is some kind of welfare. We are convinced that the best approach to the development of our communities is self-determination, power in the hands of our community. We believe in reparations from white people to repair the historic theft of labor and resources from black people. These resources form the basis of social wealth inherited by generations of white people at our expense. We believe that reparations from white people is a positive stand that allows white people to join in genuine solidarity with African people and the majority of humanity. This approach differs from those who only focus on handouts. We believe that an equitable return of resources that goes directly into programs that provide collective economic empowerment is the best and just way forward. Even black elected officials are incapable of truly representing our communities because of the absence of an independent community economic base. This fact makes black politicians more susceptible to the wishes of white capitalists and big money interests over the interests of our impoverished communities. The Black Power Blueprint allows for everyone, African people ourselves as well as our friends, to achieve a dignified success that upholds the integrity of our community and contributes to stabilizing development that serves black working people. As a consequence, this will benefit the entire city in 1,000 different ways. This is why we need Black Power Blueprint.
So that was an amazing film that we just saw on the Black Power Blueprint, narrated, of course, by Chairman Omali Yeshitela. Let's give another round of applause. Let's also give another round of applause to the Onazine Yeshitela, the president. The architect of the Black Power Blueprint. So now what I want to do is I want to welcome up Sister Sight. Sister Sight, come on. Sister Sight is going to come up. Sister Sight is a
gospel culture.
Yes. Sister Sight is a gospel culture worker, in many ways a cultural historian. I was able to see Sister Sight recently at an Impedum community rally held here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I hope she brought her tambourine. Oh, okay, there we go. So when it comes to Sister Sight, what we say about DJ Eddie, we say about Sister Sight. Might not see anything, but she feel everything. She feel everything. So it's not many more words that I have to say because she gonna lead us in it. So I'm really blessed again. Really appreciative to have Sister Sight with us. I was so excited when I heard you was gonna be opening us up. So come on up, Sister Sight. Uhuru.
All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Yahura. So, how to say it? Yahoo. One day, y'all. It means freedom.
That's it.
So I didn't say that much, right? I know I'm in freedom. So I'm gonna sing this song, and I thank you, Chairman, for inviting me. I thank you, each and every one, for accepting me into this. It's a big movement. Big movement. I've been following. Oh my goodness. I've been following. I'm like, yeah. We stand together. We stand together. Yeah. So, I thank you all. I'm gonna sing this song. And at the end, the culture part is I went back to Africa with the tambourine. A lot of people are taking the tambourine out of, music. And it's taken away from part of our soul. So it's like your tambourine is like your heartbeat. So I am playing a beat of, so a battle. But I do admit that our battle is not strong. It's not nothing to harm. Because when we stand together, we win all the time. Okay, so let's not be against each other, but let's stand for each other, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I gotta get it right, it's all right. Do we have the music? Anyone?
There's music.
My husband has it.
Okay.
Oh, and I thank my heavenly father for my wonderful husband. His name is William.
Hey.
He's trying to get my music together real quick. All right. Everybody having a great time?
Yeah.
You know I am. I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad to be here. Oh, and I also want to say, if you have any kids and they're like beating on things, that's in them. So let them beat on stuff. I'm telling you, they get out frustration, they get out different things that's going on in them that they don't understand. So if you got any positive fans in your house, they'll beat it. What's on? You'll be surprised the culture that comes out of them. Yeah. We always want them to be quiet. Don't quiet the children. That's the future. For future. Yeah, that's okay. We know what babies do. Mhm. That's the way they communicate. You know, educational point real quick. Okay, so listen. Do you know in Africa, I mean, I've never been there, but I did some studying, okay? So you know, Africa has these real big elephants, right? And for miles, I think it's up to 6,000 miles. Another African can hear, another elephant can hear another elephant calling them outside. Do y'all understand what they're saying? One elephant could be in trouble. And you can see all these lions around him. Right? He just saw. 6,000 miles away. They hear it. Rumbling. The rescue. I'm giving you this word. Oh, okay, my husband said it. Oh, my goodness. Let me stop with everything. If God is been good to you,
So, in September, the U.S. government's baseless attempt to criminalize the Uhuru and to smear our movement came to a decisive end. The jury has spoken. We work for Black people and not for Russia. Despite every false charge, all of the malicious tactics that they use, the government's lies crumble under the weight of revolutionary organization and our action. They aim to silence us. They wanted to scare people away from the African People's Socialist Party and our organizational institutions. But instead, we emerged stronger, more united, and energized. This trial was not just about the Uhuru 3. It's about defending African people's right to organize for freedom and self-determination worldwide. It was about resisting this colonial system that's desperate to crush us. We who dare to demand liberation. Yes. We stood firm, we were organized, and because of our collective resilience, we won. Chairman said it best, the US government lied and lost. The people, the African People's Socialist Party, we spoke the truth and we won. But this victory is not the end of our struggle. It's just a reminder that when we organize, when we get together in this capacity, we are unstoppable. So today we celebrate, and tomorrow we organize again. Right now, we have our revolutionary chairman, our revolutionary leadership, a giant who's guided us to this moment of undeniable truth. From his early days, when he was called Joe Waller, courageously confronting the colonial structures in St. Petersburg, Florida, to emerging as our Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the visionary founder of the African People's Socialist Party, and the leader of the worldwide African nation. His journey has been one of relentless struggle and unyielding purpose, and under his leadership, we have endured, we have overcome, and through the bold defiance of the Black Power movement, the establishment of the Uhuru movement, and now the resounding victory in the Uhuru 3 trial, comrades, our cause has already secured its place in history. Let it be known, there will not be one day behind bars. And as we gather here in the wake of the historic triumph, let's remember that the forces, the FBI, the oppressors who tried to silence us failed. And under Chairman Omali's leadership, we've demonstrated that the spirit of African liberation is undead and it's our resolve. Yeah. So I invite each and every one of you to rise and give a revolutionary salute to the man who has led us with unparalleled vision and courage. Let your applause resound with the strength of our unity. Comrades, join me in welcoming Chairman Omali Yeshitela.
I want to say that I appreciate so much, and Janova, who just introduced me, she's a bit prejudiced.
Not only is she a member of our party, the Uhuru movement, like her mother and father were, but she's also my granddaughter. I want to express my deepest appreciation for everybody who not only came out on today, not only who will be there on tomorrow, not only who will be there on tomorrow, but who've been with us on this journey from the very beginning. Most of you have been there. It's been an extraordinary struggle that we've been involved in. And so I wanted to say that, and initially I didn't think I was going to be here today because I came down with some kind of bug. And I was advised that I should chill so that I could approach the gallows on tomorrow with some dignity. I want to express appreciation for everyone, our extraordinary lawyers, at least three of them. Three of them are with us now, Comrade Mukasa Ricks. And Angela Rainey warned us all that she was not going to say anything, so I'm trying to make her say. That's what they were telling me all the time. We were doing this thing, don't say anything. And our dear comrade Leonard Goodman, we have three of the lawyers. There's Tom Instick, and my lawyer, Addie Griffin. Yeah. I wanted to say that it's been a challenging last 2 or 3 years with this case. My wife has been a central feature, a real force during this entire process that we've been involved in. Mukasa Yeshitela. See the Black Power man just walked in the room. That's really Mukasa Ricks, for those of you who don't know, the brother who popularized the term Black Power during the 1960s. And I just wanted to just say a couple of things about my wife, because most of this building, in terms of how it looks, much of the development surrounding it is due to the work that she's done. Yeah. The attacks being made on us have to do with the 53 economic institutions that we have created that struggles to neutralize or negate the power of colonialism. And Mukasa Yeshitela has been at the apex of that. We're not an organization that fights for downward mobility. We're not looking to find more poor black people. That's not our objective. Sometimes we might wear ripped jeans, but our objective is not downward mobility. We want to raise the people up. That's what the struggle against colonialism is about, so that we can regain control of our own resources and our own labor. We are not looking for some fantasy fairy tale kind of freedom and liberation. We are looking for liberation that does something to uplift the real material well-being of our people. That's right. That's what we've been struggling for. I'm somebody who, to my wife's dismay, this is me, this is not advice. I don't personally believe in life insurance. I just don't like it. I don't like betting against some major corporations that I'm going to die in time for them to make a lot of money off of it. So what we've done is that we initiated a campaign among ourselves that we would not do life insurance. But here in St. Petersburg, there was a time where some of you may remember, it's not been that long, but long enough, where property values were such that they had downgraded the property values in this city to such an extent that people could buy property. That's right. So we bought property. We bought a property for, I think, $10,000 and sold it for $500,000. Because she's smart like that. And we tried to get everybody else in the movement to do the same thing. We said, come to St. Louis. Everybody come to St. Louis. They've depressed the cost of housing to such an extent. Come there, get housing, even if you're not particularly interested in owning property, you can leverage for anything else you want. You can use it to get me out of jail. We really, push that. Like I said, we're not about downward mobility. I mean, there's a fanciful thing that white leftists always, often get involved in, but that's not what we're about. I just wanted to acknowledge the deputy chair here who presides over, like I said, I think it's 52. Is it 52 economic development, 53 economic development camp programs that we've developed. And because the thing is to uplift the whole people. That's our objective, to uplift the whole people. And I wanted to thank all of you who have been struggling with us. I'm struggling right now just in terms of this bug that I'm contending with right now. But we look forward to tomorrow. We're not afraid. We really are not afraid. What has happened, the assault on us, and anybody in this room who's been associated with Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, especially during that Black Power era, like Comrade Afia, like Comrade Willie Mukasa Ricks, you understand? Understand that we come from a tradition, this magic, this extraordinary tradition of SNCC that was the bridge between the anti-racist kind of politic and the Black Power politic, this anti-colonial Black Power politic. That's what SNCC was. And Comrade Afia was part of a team that contributed to developing some of the theoretical basis, the outline for some of the stuff that came to be known as the Black Power movement. And we were part of a critical time in history that we had moved beyond simply begging. We had moved beyond begging and saying, please let us come into this situation. Even Martin Luther King began to question the value of integrating into a burning house. And the house was on fire then. Those were just embers. But the house is certainly on fire now. So that's a SNCC, and I moved to develop that. I organized right here in this city the first membership-based SNCC organization in this country. As a membership-based, and it was an extraordinary movement that came out of St. Petersburg, Florida. And we took it everywhere, all around the world. We took it everywhere. And to the next level, as Comrade Afia said. And that's what's been important. That's what's come under attack. That's what was under attack with the attack on SNCC. And SNCC came under fierce assault. Some people will remember the so-called bomb that we had in the Philadelphia office, that they had some kind of machine they could look through packages and see that bombs were being sneaked in there. What's the brother's name out of Houston, Texas, who picked up 15 years of false charge of marijuana? Leotis Johnson. So this war that was being made is about a struggle against self-determination. And it has to be because colonialism legitimizes itself by determining that those who are colonized are inept. We are inept. We are incapable of serving our own interests. Somebody has to take care of us. And that's why they justify colonialism. If it's not black people, it's redskins. It's up. They have to come in and rescue us. The logic at one time was that white people had this surplus of Christianity and civilization, and they had to go out and just give it away. And they had developed a line around that. You heard Rudyard Kipling, you know, who was one of the main apologists for colonialism, who talked about, what was Kipling talking about?
White man's burden.
Say it again. White man's burden. Say, we don't want to do this. But it's our burden. This is, you have to accept the responsibility to go out and civilize these African people, civilize the indigenous people and things like that. So that became a mantra. And it was a necessary mantra because you're talking about a system that came into being at a time where the European powers were emerging and Europe itself was being created. Europe was created through enslaving us. Through the indigenous, the attack on there was no such thing as Europe when they attacked us and dispersed us all around the world. This is where Europe came into existence. And it was developing this politic, this theory about freedom and democracy and what have you. At the same time it was doing that, and so somebody said, how the hell can you talk about being democratic and free, etc., when you're killing, you know, Africans, you're killing indigenous people, and you're doing this all around the world? And so they declared that they did believe in democracy. This, I'm not making this up, by the way. This you can find was from the philosophers of that period. You can find them debating this question. They said they did believe in democracy and freedom. But that African people and the others of us had to be brought up to their level. So it was possible to do anything to bring us into civilization. So what they were doing in terms of violence, the attack on rights, the denial of rights, this was a part of the process of making us civilized, so that we could meet the standards that would allow us to have democracy and the same democracy that white people would have. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming here, and all of you. I'm still battling this bug, but we're going to go tomorrow, and we've already been victorious. I truly believe that. There are people who are in this room and who will be here between now and tomorrow who never would have come together if it were not for this attack on us. There are people who cross the political spectrum who have found the reason. Tucker Carlson is no raving left wing, whatever you want to call it. He's not one of those persons, right? And then who was the person that we just did an interview with yesterday? I'm talking about Rick. I'm talking about Jimmy Dore, Rick. Say it again. Scott Ritter. You know, these are not leftists and what have you. Scott Ritter, I like Scott Ritter. Because he says, I'm as white as you can get. I am as white as you can get. I'm an American patriot. But I'm here because the issue of free speech, I understand that the issue of free speech, that if we're going to have freedom of speech in this country, we have to push them back on this. He says, this is the free speech issue of the century. Scott Ritter was the white man that they sent into Iraq as a so-called weapons inspector that was supposed to prove weapons of mass destruction existed in Iraq. I didn't know this guy. I didn't know what his politics was. I just kept hearing about this guy who kept saying, there are no weapons of mass destruction here. I started liking him from that point on. And then, you know, he came out and he was able to say that, how much he's learned through this process, and that what he has come to understand is that they attack me because they don't want him to hear what I got to say. You understand? And that's what the issue is. So free speech is about more than me talking. It's about people having the ability to hear what I got to say. They don't have to agree. They don't have to agree, but they have the right to hear it, because they cannot come to any kind of informed determination unless they hear what I got to say. And so no head bowed or anything like that. We have won already, and just this incredible group of people. I want them to hear me. Yes. Because we have a line, a political line that is logical, that undermines the whole concept of colonialism and gives them an opportunity to get on the right side of history. Thank you, brother, for
Next up, I do want to call up Jesse and Penny for an introduction to the lawyers. I know we just had one, but please come forward. Uhuru.
Uhuru, we are winning. My name is Penny, yes, and I'm one of the Uhuru three. This is Comrade Jesse Neville. We have to, first of all, profoundly salute our leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela. Fought for the liberation and self-determination of Africa and African people for 60 years, regardless of the personal cost. I just want to say really quickly that the African People's Solidarity Committee is the organization of white people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, the Uhuru Movement, and Chairman Omali Yeshitela. So Chairman is our leadership. Deputy Chair Onisene Yeshitela is our leadership. The African People's Socialist Party is our leadership. And our work is to organize in the white community to win other white people, just like ourselves, to stand in solidarity with African and oppressed peoples all around the world for their freedom, to recognize that this system is built on slavery, it's built on genocide, and that white people can join the future by standing for reparations and self-determination and the leadership of African and oppressed peoples. Introduce our powerful lawyers, and I just want to say something very quickly about that. That in the 1960s, when the African Revolution, and revolution was the main trend in the world, there were legendary, amazing, politicized attorneys and lawyers, such as William Kunstler, as Charles Gary, as Lynn Stewart, of course, who fought and in some cases went to prison themselves for the courageous stand like Lynn Stewart was forced to do. But this is a new period, and the thing that I appreciate about our attorneys so profoundly, that in fact it makes me pretty emotional, is that Chairman laid out in the first meeting with the attorneys that this is a political trial, that this is going to challenge the ideas of the ruling class and the law as we know it, as that had happened in the last period. And our attorneys stood up and took that on in such a powerful way. Yeah. And I want to say your attorneys as comrades, and I do feel that way. So I would like to, for Mutaki Akbar to stand up.
Uhuru. Hands off Uhuru. Uhuru. I just want to salute everybody who's here. I want to join Chairwoman Penny Hess in saluting our leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Deputy Chair Onazane Yeshitela. I also want to salute Chairwoman Penny Hess. Solidarity Committee has been under the leadership of the African Revolution since 1976 when APSC was founded. And for me, I want to say I am proud to be one of the Uhuru 3, Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Chairwoman Penny Hess, two human beings that have been the greatest leadership and inspiration to me in my entire life. I could not think of a greater honor. Thank you to the U.S. government for this Medal of Honor that they delivered. And as I think I've said before, I never expected to get a Medal of Honor from the U.S. government, certainly not via flashbang grenade and battering ram, but we'll take it anyway. And as far as our attorneys, before I say that, one other quick thing. She's not one of our lawyers, but she could be a great lawyer. Yeah. But I also want to salute my amazing comrade and beloved wife, Comrade Amanda. Amanda was there at 5 a.m. July 29th with assault rifles pointed at her face, and she didn't flinch, not even a little bit.
She had a recording on.
That's right, that's right. So she's been just a courageous comrade. I just want to salute you, Amanda. And as far as our attorneys, there's not much I can add, but I just want to quote, some of you might remember this moment. Right after the verdict was announced, the chairman, the Tampa Bay Times described it actually pretty well, and that's not the greatest, anyway, but they said that the defendants had no immediate reaction. Then, Yeshitela strode out of the courtroom on the arms of his supporters and family, raised his fist and said, "Relentless." He was met with jubilant cries of Uhuru. And then he stood on the courthouse steps and said, "Our dream team, our lawyers, our dream team were a nightmare for the prosecution." I want to quickly say about each of them. Mutaki Akbar, the one who stood in a federal court and started and ended his opening and closing arguments by saying, say it with me, needs freedom. Leonard Goodman, who took on this case pro bono. Let's give a round. Along with Angela Rainey, who I want to say something about next, authored the brilliant and historic motion to dismiss this bogus indictment that will go down in history. And we had some expert witnesses lined up that we didn't end up calling. Leonard Goodman ended up being one of our expert witnesses, going back and forth with those hacks that the government paid to talk about Russia. They couldn't handle Leonard Goodman. And Angela Rainey, I can't say enough to salute Angela Rainey, who was brought into our team by Leonard Goodman, and that was an absolute game changer on so many levels that I don't have time to tell you about. But I will say that you've heard about the 2.5 million books worth of evidence, the 13 terabytes. I think Angela's been through at least 10 or 12, maybe all 13 of those terabytes. She also did brilliant work on so many different motions and also argued in court before the judge in an incredibly powerful way. So we want to salute and express our love for Angela. Tom Inskeep, who was a key part of the team, who came to St. Pete many times with Addie Griffin to meet with us, who had sharp analysis and contributions to everything, and who was there every step of the way. We salute Tom Inskeep. Yeah. Addie Griffin, who stood up in that court and said to the jury, a revolutionary, a man of conviction, a man who has fought for the liberation of black people for his entire life, Omali Yeshitela, is not for sale.
encourage everybody to watch the reenactment. It's on Burning Spear, the Burning Spear channel, TV channel on YouTube. It is really powerful to see. Uhuru.
And the last thing I wanted to say, you should check out those reenactments because our lawyers are very sweet and nice people, but not when you are on the stand under cross-examination by them. And what those FBI agents had to go through, I would like to tell you, but I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but I don't want to lie to you. So now we bring them up. Let's bring them up.
It's been the privilege of my life to represent Penny Hess and to get to know Penny, Jesse, and Omali. Three people. I've never met three people with more integrity, more courage, and more dedicated to their cause. So it's been a great privilege.
I want to reiterate, coming onto this case, I really thought about it because of what was involved. I got the call and say they accused of working with Russia and how serious, the organization. And I just thought about, is this a good idea? Would I get attached to this? Like, what's going on here? But like when I really thought about it, I said, well, why did you go to law school? And when I thought about it, I said, this is the type of case that I went to law school for. And honestly, this is the highlight of my career. I've said this before, but like I saw my father in the chairman. As far as like being a revolutionary, being the self-determination part of it. And one of the first things that they did when we got on the team was they brought us up to St. Louis. And I left there saying, and I told my family that this is why they're indicted. It has nothing to do with a protest, it has nothing to do with a petition, but it has everything to do with the Black Power blueprint. And the real work that's being done, because that's the threat to America. That freedom. And my father, he's a psychologist, he's a black psychologist, and he said he always talked about the mental slavery piece. And then when you free the mind, they're in trouble. And so African People's Socialist Party and all the work that they're doing with the 53 economic businesses and everything that's going on, it's a great example of how we're not only saying the right things, but we're doing the right things. And that's what it's great is. And so the fact that we were able to go into the courtroom and not hold back, because we thought about it. When the chairman said, I want you to put them on trial, I was like, well, we're the lawyers here. Let us figure out what we're going to do. But that was the best strategy to do that. Because we could have easily kind of hid the facts of the organization, not really talk about what the organization does, not really talk about what the organization speaks about. By putting it all out there, I think the jury really saw not only was that like these are not a bunch of quacks that allow the Russians to take advantage of them, but these are strong people, powerful people, revolutionaries that have been standing up for the last 50, 60 years, and we were able to present that to that jury, and that's the reason why the verdict came back to them. The fight isn't over. Tomorrow is very, very important. It's really up to the judge as far as what's going to happen. We have a good indication based off of Augusta's Romaine sentence that what could happen. Our strategy tomorrow, just so nobody won't be surprised if you're looking for a lot of theatrics, there won't be any. Our strategy tomorrow is really just to kind of lay out. I mean, just focus on what's already been presented without presenting that much more. We did send out sentencing memorandum. We sent the 400 or 500 letters that you all have mailed in throughout the country, so the judge has all that. But we're really just it's going to be a lot more simple than the trial. But your presence is very, very important because we want the judge to see again how much support that organization has. So, so we appreciate everything and thank you all for all the support.
Whenever I tell Penny, the chairman, and Jesse that I'm not going to speak, that I'm definitely going to speak. I would reiterate what Lynn Mutaki said, that it's been the greatest honor of my life to work on this case. I've never been involved in anything of this magnitude. It's really amazing, and the support that everyone has provided throughout this whole trial from the beginning. I mean, you all have not flinched at all under this. You saw through what the government was doing. So it's just amazing, and the support, 745 pages of letters that I uploaded is amazing. So I really appreciate you all, and I'm glad I got to be involved in this case.
Yeah. We don't have much time, so this is rather disruptive what I'm doing now. But I wanted to just say something. You know, when Haiti won its independence, it had to fight like hell, and it won its independence. And the whole white world, including the United States, initiated quarantine, economic quarantine on Haiti, to force Haiti to pay reparations to France for its lost property. And the property that France lost was enslaved African people. Yes. What they have done with us is I'm facing 5 years in prison and $250,000 fine. Reparations, me, and this is what this whole solidarity movement has been organized around reparations. They're demanding that I pay reparations to them. That's what we, So I just wanted to make that statement.
Uhuru. Hands up, Uhuru. Hands up, Uhuru. Uhuru. So on that note, as we especially salute all the work of everyone for the last 2.5 years, we want to transition to online to Secretary General Mwezi Odom, who is the chair of the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. As the chair of the Hands Off Uhuru campaign, I just have to say, for almost 2.5 years, I've seen this comrade jump immediately into action. Actually, the morning of July 29th, when we got the phone call, we were building towards stuff, some party work in San Diego, and I saw, and we jumped immediately into action as the comrade was proposed with leading the work of the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. The comrade never flinched. California is 3 hours behind. Or behind the East Coast and Central California. So I've seen the comrade wake up and be on meetings that might seem okay out here, 9 o'clock in the morning, but are 6 o'clock in the morning in California, and go to sleep at 3 o'clock. Almost 2.5 years while holding a colonial job, while parenting two beautiful daughters of Africa. So I just want to really salute Comrade Mwezi for everything. And of course, if she could be here right now, she would. But luckily, because she ain't here, I get to be here. So, so I really want to salute Comrade Mwezi.
Wait, I want to also salute the Uhuru baby that Comrade SG Mwezi is carrying.
So, trying to keep the comradely up. Thank you. So the PowerPoint she will include the past 2.5 years of hands-on food actions, victories, our membership organizations. So I just want to really pass it to Chairman Moisey now.
Uhuru comrades, can I be heard? I'm gonna keep going unless I can't be heard, but I just really thank you, comrades. I really just want to appreciate this phenomenal Sunday rally. I wish I was there. It feels like I'm there. Just you could feel all of the energy and just the, powerful movement that we are all a part of, coming through this screen. And so I just want to salute everybody who's tuning in with us online, who are there on the ground. And I just really want to salute our RMCs and my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Deputy Chair Onazane Yeshitela, and the entire African Revolution and, the history, because our history as African people is historic. And this is a historic moment for us as African people and for all freedom-loving people. And it's just such a great honor to serve as the chairperson of this really dynamic mobilization towards, not just freeing the Uhuru 3, but towards freedom, because that's what this has always been about. So I, comrades, want to just go through a very quick PowerPoint. I had to start taking out some slides as we were going through, because I know we are short on time. So I want to appreciate our Zoom techs who are doing a phenomenal job and who are going to help me move through this really quickly. So again, this is, you are part of the Hands Off Uhuru Fight Back Coalition, in case you didn't know. And this coalition is a non-sectarian, as we said, anti-colonial free speech coalition to make the demand to drop the charges on the Uhuru 3, which we have done, and to defend the right to freedom of speech, which, as we know, is not over. I want to salute all of the organizations who have been a part of this fight back since day one. I'm going to go through this, overview and just share a little bit about who some of you are. And if we forget to name you, it's because there's just not enough time, but we will continue to salute you, comrades, because your work has been profound. I want to salute the Black is Back Coalition for Social Justice, Peace, and Reparations, and all of its members, who are there on the ground. This has just been a phenomenal fight back, and the Black is Back Coalition has been at the forefront as well as moving a mass mobilization, for social justice, peace, and reparations. And none of that can be, none of those things can happen separately if we are not talking about the anti-colonial, anti-capitalist fight back, and that's what this is about. I really want to salute the comrades from Unión del Barrio. These comrades have been with the African People's Socialist Party in support of this, really long and profound relationship. And as we say, from sea to shining sea, Indigenous people must be free. We want to salute and say, free Comrade Mumia Abu Jamal, free all political prisoners. Again, these are some of the demands of the Hands Off Uhuru Fight Back Coalition. I also want to salute Comrade Imam Jamil Al-Hameen, also known as H. Rat Brown, and all political prisoners, who is right now also facing, the impacts of being in these colonial prisons and, significant medical issues that perhaps the comrades can share more later on. But I want to salute this comrade. I also want to salute and acknowledge, as we say, not one more year, free Leonard Peltier. I want to salute all the members of the Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee who have come into this fight back. And comrades, we stand with you until our comrade and relative Leonard Peltier is free and, returned back to his community on his stolen land. I want to also salute other members of our, coalition, those who have come under attack and continue to come under attack, standing in solidarity with the Palestinians, with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. We want to stand with the Sami Doune Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network against colonial state repression. We say victory to Palestine. And comrades, I also want to salute just the international reach that this campaign has brought. The U.S. Hands Off Cuba Committee, which we have joined for the past 2 years as well, taking this fight back, across international waters. Of course, as we talk about political prisoners, our Uhuru 3 will not be political prisoners, and part of this fight back is to make sure that does not happen. And I want to salute Chairman Omali Yeshitela. I want to salute Penny Hess, the chair of the African People's Solidarity Committee, and Comrade Chair Jesse Neville, the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I want to take a moment to also salute Comrade Brother Ralph Pointer. Some of these slides are a little bit out of order, but it's never, it's important to acknowledge this comrade, Brother Ralph Pointer. Long live and presente. And all of the comrades who came out right out the bat. We want to salute the comrades from D12 who held a press conference on the day, or days after this raid on July 29, 2022. And we want to salute Comrade Viola Plummer of the D12 organization. I also want to just take a moment to salute and recognize the living legacy of Mr. Gary Brooks. You saw that video in the beginning of today's webinar about the Black Power Blueprint and why we need it. And we want to salute and acknowledge the man who inspired all of us and really inspired us to continue to build upon what was left in North St. Louis and the African people's, fight for determination and for a prosperous life. So we want to salute and say, long live Mr. Gary Brooks, and to all the fallen comrades who we have lost throughout this fight back. Also want to salute Comrade Deirdre, who was, very close to our movement and who was a really profound member of the, early days of our fight back as well. So we have heard, and I want to appreciate just the overviews that have been given about the Uhuru 3 and, how profound this case is. This case is leading the anti-colonial free speech movement. As we know, this is a counteroffensive against those bogus charges and the bogus raids and the violent raids on the African People's Socialist Party on July 29, 2022. We do not have time to go through all the attacks, but you can find this information on our website. Go to handsoffuhuru.org, click the About, and you can read the entire timeline of attacks since the burning of the flag, which happened 27 days before the, before the attacks on the 29th, to the removal of a petition charging the United States with genocide, to the closing of personal bank accounts, to, movement bank accounts, withholding of funds from these fiscal sponsors, slanderous attacks in the media, a burning of a church that we were in process of purchasing on the ground in St. Louis, right across the street from the chairman's home, and the continuous attacks, which we see still to this day on the Black Power Blueprint. I want to salute Deputy Chair Omali Yeshitela, who, as we have said and have seen the remarkable work of the over, 52 economic institutions. We want to salute her as an architect of the Black Power Blueprint, as well as the continued fight back of the African People's Education and Defense Fund to open a bakery and cafe in North St. Louis in what is known as a food desert, and which has been, which has faced a ongoing, fight back from the city of St. Louis. This is just a local battle where we understand that the money that should be going to the Black community is money that is going into the pockets of these of these developers and these, and these colonizers. And so we say, long live the Black Power Blueprint, and we want to support our institutions. And I want to really salute the comrades who are on the ground still at ground zero. This fight back, comrades, has reached over 6 continents. We are everywhere in this fight back, and I want to salute everybody who has made this fight back one that is, one that is for the books. And again, as I said, we are building an anti-colonial free speech movement, and we're asking comrades to continue to spread the word for this fight back. On tomorrow, you will be receiving a text message if you have not already, signed up for our, for our text message, emergency response for how you can continue to spread the word. We want people on social media all over to continue to have people tune in to the live broadcast of the sentencing. Those of you who will be in the court, that's amazing. And those of you that won't be, we encourage you, comrades, to join us online. Just with the few moments that I have left, I really want to salute and appreciate everybody who has donated to this fight back. We understand many of you bought plane tickets, hotels, in September, and you're back again now. Many of you have been donating since day one. Some of you are new donors. It doesn't matter. Y'all have been just remarkable. And without your donations, we would not be where we are. We have raised over $600,000 in contributions, and that includes, as was mentioned earlier, the pro bono contribution by attorney Leonard Goodman. So comrades, this is just a profound fight back. I just really want to salute everybody who has donated. And again, as we said, we are still fighting back. We are still raising resources for this appeal. And that is just the link where you can go. As we know, the Uhuru 3 are facing sentencing up to 5 years in prison and fines of up to $250,000 each. And that will not happen on our watch, comrades, because as you know, throughout this fight back, we have been putting this out everywhere so that this does not happen behind closed doors. I thank you to our tech. Over 100, even more than that, media interviews, articles, commentary. Many of you also have written articles about the Uhuru 3, webinars upon webinars to raise the resources, but also to put out the political line, because as we know, this is a political attack on the Uhuru 3. I want to salute everybody who has joined us throughout this entire fight back, who were on the ground in St. Pete for the long, hot summer, and it was a hot summer. I want to salute the comrades, Ndio Chimarenga, and all the other comrades who flew in to St. Pete, who stayed for months to have a scorched earth campaign and to put flyers, posters, banners, yard signs, everything around Tampa, and St. Pete area to make people know that this was happening. And I want to salute the historic free speech, anti-colonial free speech trial of the century that took place in a federal courthouse. As the chairman said, the US government lied and lost. The Uhuru movement told the truth and won. And again, one thing that we want to, be, clear on, as Comrade Jainaba started this, we don't work for the Russians. The real conspiracy was that the and I want to encourage everybody to, I just skipped a slide, but to salute our amazing attorneys. Again, here's a picture of those who were not here. We want to salute, again, Addie Griffin, Mutaki Akbar, Leonard Goodman, Angela Rainey, and Tom Inskeep. I also want to salute Comrade Lauren Reagan of the Civil Liberties Defense Center, who was there since day one, helping us assemble not only our legal team, but also our legal defense support committee. Again, all of our donors, all of our supporters, there are so many images and photos and videos to be shown. But again, I want to salute us from South St. Pete to South Africa, comrades. We have been hitting the ground. And I want to salute our amazing media army team. Again, somebody just mentioned to catch the reenactments. The last two ones just happened the past 2 weeks. You have to see what happened at the trial. This was a brainchild of Deputy Chair Ona Zane, who said for us that we have to put this out back there to the world. Thank you, Timekeeper. We're almost there. And I wanted to salute everybody who helped put this together in really record time, going through hundreds of pages of transcripts as well. As well as our volunteers who helped to get this out internationally. Paulina for your Spanish translation, S.G. Loazy for your French translations during the trial, our sketch artists, as well as those of you who wrote the over 1,600 letters for the Uhuru 3, many of which we will also be putting out and publishing with, and those of you who wrote letters, you'll hear more about that. And lastly, well, not lastly, but to also say, and to salute those again of you who are on the ground who have been still putting up posters, even this morning, comrades who are on their way to the Uhuru House and dropping off yard signs, putting this out there in the world that on December 16th, these comrades will be facing sentencing and we will not let them spend one day in prison. If you have not already got any Uhuru gear, it's not too late. I'm sure that there's some information there on the ground, but I also want to announce that there is a new shirt, and this is a long time coming, but you can still, we are still, our volunteers are still behind the scenes making things happen. The new t-shirt is live, Kick the Ass of the Ruling Class. We said it would come out, and here it is. So you can get this shirt at handsoffuhuru.org/shop or go straight to Uhuru Planet. Continue to follow us online. For those of you who are watching online, please make sure that you go to Hands Off Uhuru on one of these platforms and join us. And on the ground, if you are on the ground in St. Pete, you must leave with a copy of the Burning Spear in your hand. This is this is the media platform that the U.S. government is afraid of, and this is the longest standing institution of the African People's Socialist Party. This is the easiest way to support the work and to help push the political line of the people, the line of freedom. So you will hear later on in today's program the outline for tomorrow's event, starting with the press conference, how we're going to pack the court, and how the rest of the day is going to go. So please stay tuned, comrades, because we understand, again, clearly, this was a political attack on the chairman, on the African People's Socialist Party, and on you, all freedom-loving people. So we say, join the Hands Off Fight Back Coalition, build the anti-colonial free speech movement, and comrades, it's not over. Hands off the Uhuru 3. We are winning. We will win. Uhuru.
I want to salute my leadership, SG Mwezi. I'm really grateful for everybody for showing up. It's been an incredible presentation so far. I mean, this rally is packed. You all look great. And I know we have just an incredible segment where all of our supporters are going to be coming up. And if you have a program, it may say a certain amount of time, but for the sake of time, we're gonna spend, maybe 90 seconds for each person to make a statement, and 90 seconds to maybe up to 3 minutes max. If their timekeepers can help us with that, just pay attention. You'll see the signals come from right in the front with the sign saying, 1 minute remaining or 30 seconds. And we want to be disciplined in that. That's how we got to this point, was through revolutionary discipline. And so we're going to start with a statement from Comrade Zaki Baruti, who I understand is here. We'll follow that. And then we'll follow that up with Charles Barron. We have Willie Mukasa Ricks here, followed by Cam Howard. Afia Gwaza will be speaking, followed by Pam Africa. So I'm just making everybody, letting it be known. But please do come up and just really excited. Uhuru, comrade.
Uhuru, I'm gonna make mine real quick. Not one day. I can't hear you. Not one day. I still can't hear you. Not one day. All right. And I'm just here in total solidarity because it is the right thing to do. If we seek freedom, justice, and equality and a whole new world order for humanity. For humanity. So it's in that spirit why I'm here. And I salute you, Chairman, as well as Penny, as well as Jesse. And I salute them too, because under great pressure, it's easy to cave in. And they have not caved in. So on that note, I'm closing out. Not one more day. Not one day. All to the people.
I'm so glad my sister opened up this program with some gospel music. It gives me the opportunity to still try to get this man to heaven. I'm trying to keep him out of hell on earth so I can get him to heaven. Black power! Say it like you mean it. Black power! From New York City, Big Apple, never gave us a bite. But I want to bring you greetings from Operation Power. brothers and sisters that are working hard in New York. They believe in you.
Yes.
They believe in my chairman. And we have turned things around in East New York.
Yeah.
We beat the mighty machine, stopped gentrification, stopped Walmart from coming into our district, freed 3 political prisoners, and we believe that this movement is going to reverberate all over the world. The December 12th movement was there first. Nobody even had to solicit their support, and they made that commitment. So I say we winning. And in New York, you heard about the Neely case, the brother that they choked to death. Well, Eric Adams was on trial. He failed. The American legal system was on trial. It failed. This brother should have been fed. He was hungry. He was on a train asking for food, dancing like Michael Jackson. And what they did is choked him to death. When that creep put him in the chokehold for 30 seconds, after the train stopped, all the passengers left. Nobody was in danger. Not a soul, and he held him for 6 minutes more, even when his body was livid. So we have not stopped. We're going to fight for justice for Jordan Neely, and we're going to say to this world, you touch us again, we are no longer just going to be peacefully rallying. We have a right to self-determination and self-defense. We're not the only ones that can bleed. We're not the only ones that can have funerals. Our people have been very patient. Don't try us.
What does it say? All right, next we're gonna hear from Mukasa Ricks.
All right, we'd like to make an announcement. There's someone with a Chevy EQ BTZ. That's either Z or 2 or 9 FM. It's parked and in front of someone else's home or something like that. So if anyone here has a Chevy EQ or Equinox or something, it just says BTZ. The plate is BT, either Z or 2, 9 FM. Does that sound? Anybody here have a Chevy? Does that sound like your license plate?
What color is it?
It doesn't say any color on it. It's just a Chevy. Anybody, if you drove a Chevy, just check where you park. All right, so now we want to bring up a comrade, Willie Mukasa Ricks. Uhuru! Willie Ricks is no stranger to this Uhuru house, to the Uhuru movement, to chairman, to St. Petersburg, Florida. What was that? 58 years ago, after chairman, December 1966, tore down that mural. Willie Mukasa Ricks came down here and helped organize. So, Uhuru, Black Power.
Greetings, Africans. First, I want to say that Chairman and the whole Uhuru movement, y'all don't realize that I used to be the chairman of this movement right here in St. Pete. When the army went down to the police station to attack it for its racism against African people, Omali led the way and they put him in jail. And when he was in jail, Jim Foreman and Ethel Manor saw these warriors in jail and called me in and said, Mukasa, go to Florida and free Omali. And I came down, took over the organization. All of those that weren't qualified to be in there, put them out, brought in some fighters, and we got Omali out of jail. But for that short time, I was the chairman of this movement. Don't y'all forget it. Sudan, in the Congo, in Angola, in Mozambique, in Iraq, in Yemen, the Palestinians, everybody.
In New York.
In New York, in Philadelphia, where they murdered all those children in the community, dropped bombs on the community. And this is what this government is doing. They're assassinating our leaders. They murdering our people. They raping the land. They raping the people. They building jails and prisons all over the world. And we need to burn every damn one of them down. It's time to fight. Everybody got to join the Uhuru movement, join organization, join guerrilla groups, and let's bring this damn bastard to the ground. Republicans and damn America, damn capitalism, damn imperialism, damn scholar colonialism, and long live the African Revolution. And lastly, I want to say that I've been with all the freedom fighters. I was their general, Stokely, Rap, Brown, all of them. Black Panthers trained them. And the most dynamic and longest organizer, and not only a great speaker, but a great organizer, and someone who has served the people, Omali. He stayed cold. He's one of the tallest trees in the bushes. So we thank you, Omali, and we glad to serve you, and we gonna fight with you. Are y'all ready to fight? Yeah. Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to pick up whatever it takes? Your firearm, your gun, your rifle, your brick. Are you ready to fight? Everybody say black power. Black power. Let's go get to be Uncle Tommy now. I can't even hear you. Let me say it again. Say black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. 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 Uhuru. Uhuru.
Wow.
I can get $2,000 you got, I might though.
Honored next to have Kim Howard come up and speak. Uhuru.
Reparations now! Reparations now! Reparations now! Reparations now! I want to thank the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Deputy Chair Yeshitela for bringing me into a movement that produces power for black people. Not just talk about it, because there's been a lot of black nationalists that are talking about African revolutions that talk about power, but we see actually power being produced in the community all around this country. And thank you for bringing me into this movement. Attorney Mutaki talked about putting the government on trial. And we definitely put the government on trial. We called out the crimes of enslavement, put them on trial for enslavement. We called out the crimes of genocide, and the jury got a chance to hear these crimes systematically over 400 years that took place in the African communities by the white ruling class. And that was one of the most significant things that came out of this trial. Not that only that they were found not guilty, but we got a chance to put before a jury into the federal record in this country the crimes of enslavement, the crimes of colonialism, the crimes of neo-colonialism that we exist in today. The crimes of apartheid from 1865 to 1965, and I call what we also experience today neo-apartheid, because the disparities that exist in this country is a result of the separate development that still exists between the white ruling class and the working class in this country, particularly black people in America. So we exist in a new period of criminality. that hasn't stopped. 400 years of continued criminality, and that's what this trial represented. That we have put this country on notice that the fight will continue until we are free.
Next we have, I'm so pleased to introduce Efia Ngwaza, founding member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. Uhuru.
A member of the Atlanta Project, tip of the slick spear for the Black Power movement. Well, now that we've heard all the sermons, I guess it's nothing left but a song, so I'll be Victory, victory, victory is ours. When the people fight the battle, we always win. Victory, victory, victory is ours. When the people fight the battle, we always win. One more time. Victory, victory, victory is ours. When the people fight the battle, we always win. Victory is victory, victory is ours. People fought the battle, struck the blow for freedom. We have won. Victory, victory, victory is ours. The people fought the battle, struck the blow for freedom. We have won. Uhuru.
We are winning. Uhuru. So now we're happy to have our fierce fighting comrade, Pam Africa. That's all I'm talking to you.
Uhuru. Uhuru.
Say it, Pam. Say it, Pam.
We're gonna kick the bone out of these motherfuckers. You know what? We have done it. I just want to say something about when I first seen the Uhuru organization and with the group known as the Solidarity Group, Solidarity Committee. I was like, oh, who the fuck is that? Coming up here in Philadelphia, I was underground after May 13th. And there needed to be a movement up here. We had people in jail, people underground. That's right. I was with a young child, and I came above ground because we had to do the work to free Mumia. We had to bring Mumia off of death row. We had to bring the necessary information and build the movement to take these motherfuckers down and them understand we are no joke. People were saying, it'll never happen, and find something else to do, and Mumia will be on death row. They killed this one, they killed that one. But when you believe, and when you know you got everything you need with you, see, we're not without. Yeshitela has never been without. He's been building a movement. And I was like questioning, well, where the hell he come from? Coming up in here to Philadelphia, where I seen these kind of people before, want to jump in front of a movement and make a name for their damn self, and then they gone. Oh, and wait a minute, hold up. Who the hell are these white motherfuckers? Who in the hell are these white motherfuckers? Talking about they follow Yeshitela. And and I was told that Yeshitela was the front for the white folks. And but see, I study, I watch, and throughout the years, I've seen and I've been a part of, giving them hell, and not believing, but you learn. I watch carefully. I watched and I talked about Penny. I talked about all the rest of the white women the hell up in here, and and I was a part of the people who was a part of people who are coming and giving their all. Yeshitela his family and members. I've seen members come, I've seen members go, but I've seen the steadfastness of a brother by the name of Yeshitela, and all that he brought. And and I really feel bad. No, I don't feel bad because it was the time. Who the fuck are they? I want to know. Now I know. I've seen. I believe in the Uhuru movement. Not because somebody told me, but for years and years of watching when they said, out of the ashes, I believe it was, right? And a movement, it was after they dropped the bomb and killed people in the family. Mumia's life was on the line and stuff. We had 9 people, in prison. I seen them come up and help organize. And and I'm still questioning the fuck are these people? What is their concern with us? Their concern was with African people. And they brought a group of people who said they was going into their community to fight. And see, not only did they have to fight in their community, and with white folks who wanted to know, well, hell, you come up here talking about these niggas for? Like you got some style of traitors. We in the neighborhood, we don't want these white motherfuckers up in here coming into our neighborhood talking about this solidarity stuff. You build. I watched it build through the years. I watched Penny, I watched all the other sisters and brothers, they brought jobs into our community, and gave people hope where there was no hope, went inside the prisons and did the damn, did the damn outside the prisons. So I'm saying, it's a lot I can say about the Uhuru group, the Solidarity group, but all I got to say now is, long live the spirit, long live the fight, long live the example. We talk about evidence in the trial, it's evident that the Uhuru organization, the Uhuru family is about what they said that they're about. They're about reparations for black people, they're about building for black people. The Solidarity group is about going into their communities and bringing people out and getting them to understand where we're at with this. It's evident. It was evident in the courtroom, it's evident in demonstrations, it's evident here today. The work that each and every last one of you through your leadership and through my sister, I got 1 minute. I know how it feels to wake up in the morning and you see these terroristic fucking demons, monsters with guns on you, and motherfuckers that have no respect for your life. They killed our children. They just came up with the fact that Delisha Africa, Delbert's African daughter, Janet Africa daughter, who's in jail for loving people, for loving life, for telling the truth. And the mere fact that they had her bones, her body in there, and then to hear how, it was like goo. There wasn't even the body parts. It was because the fire was so hot, so heavy, that it was like melting flesh and skin. These people did this to our children, to our brothers and sisters, and still we rise and continue to fight these people, not just for the sake of us, but for the sake of anybody, because anytime these motherfuckers is allowed to get away with what they're getting away with today, and they're not getting away with it because people are rising up every time we turn around. People that we don't even know. I don't know these people who found these body parts. They wasn't even born when this thing happened. All I'm saying is, this motherfucker is falling. And it's falling because of the likes of brothers and sisters who stand up in that. I'm turning around this room. I'm not just talking about brother guys. I'm standing here today and strong as I am because of brothers and sisters all throughout this room. The people united will never be defeated. Especially when you're under strong leadership, and all I see is strong leadership throughout the years. People I didn't know. I'm saying solidarity forever. Let's take this motherfucker down, and and I wish I could say I'm sorry about saying all these motherfuckers, but I'm not. Is what's got us here today in solidarity to take this motherfucker down.
All right, just a reminder for time check down here, we're gonna welcome Comrade Ward Churchill, revolutionary author, professor, and activist who's been a mainstay of the Hands Off Uhuru fight back since the beginning, and a friend of the Uhuru movement for decades. Uhuru.
I'm supposed to follow her. I'm supposed to follow her and Willie Ricks. Oh, okay. You know, the Cheyenne, Dakotas as well, had a procedure where it came the moment, it came the time, it was understood. And they took the little bridle from their horse and tied it around their ankle and took a picket pin and drove it into the ground, and they would go back no further, no further.
Yes.
Until they won. Or they died.
Yeah.
Some people break, some people bend. Some of the other kind. Speaking personally, and I've done a lot of speaking. I've run my mouth way too much over the years, but that's okay. That's part of what I do. The one line that was most important, reach down into the streets to where the actual people are.
Yes.
Well, Pam said it, fuck off. You can kiss my ass, I'm not apologizing, I changed nothing I say because what I said was true. Well, meet another. Meet another. Meet one, two, three, a whole row. You've got others in the room. You do not back up.
Well, that's right.
You do not back up.
That's right. Yes.
Really. When you don't, people will respond. I remember the waiter giving me a free glass of orange juice in an IHOP one day because the only thing he could think of to do, hey, you're him, here. Okay, big orange juice too, wasn't even thirsty, but there it was. Free parking, that's all the guy could do. Yeah? Well, you find the people at that level, and as this society would say, below, understand and respond as best they can, and if it comes to the moment and you're staked out, they will come to defend you as you defend them. That's the nature of the process. That's unity. That's the significance of this case.
That's right.
That is exactly why it's important that we be here. It's exactly why it's important we be in the courtroom tomorrow, and it's exactly why we continue to build on the victory in the court, in the appeal, to nullify the thing once and for all. And when we're done, I have a candidate for being on trial as an unregistered foreign agent for as long as I can remember, and his name is Alan Dershowitz, but he's got a whole lot of friends. You do not back up, we do not back down. Power to the people, power to the people.
right, so in a perfect follow-up to Comrade Professor Ward Churchill, now we bring up our comrade representing the struggle to free political prisoner Leonard Peltier, the struggle for liberation of the indigenous people as the owners, as the true custodians of this land, indigenous people called Turtle Island. Comrade Paulette Gautier.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Leonard knew I was coming, and they actually got out of lockdown for a few days last week. And so Jennifer told him that we would be here, and he said, "This is the war cry." We understand that what this trial was about was the attempt to start dismantling us as warriors. And the chairman and Penny and Jesse stood there solid. And all of us who have that respect need to do the same. It used to be that when we were at Big Mountain, there was a line drawn and white people were to be in the front. We were there because we were in solidarity, we respected the Dene, but more than that, we respected Mother Earth. And so our responsibility was to be the first line. Whether you were in a wheelchair, a walker, young or old, as a white person, it is our responsibility to organize white people, but also to stand up and say, we are in solidarity, we respect you, and if there's anything that we can do, Chairman, Penny, Jesse, we will do it. And also I work with Jericho, and Jihad got to meet his first grandchild, so he said to tell the chairman that he has another warrior coming up to stand in solidarity. When you have a chance tonight or tomorrow after the court, please call the White House and ask Biden, say, look, your son got out, how about adopting Leonard Peltier? From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Thank you, and land back. Land back.
All right, Uhuru comrades. So I'm really proud to introduce my leadership. This is the leader of the African National Women's Organization, Comrade President Yeshitela Oromila.
Uhuru, I'm so happy to be here.
All right.
I missed the first time when you came down here for the trial because I was a proposed witness. And so I couldn't be at the trial, but I'm so happy to be here now and stand with my comrades and be able to say something. So I wrote something, and hopefully it will be in time. So the African National Women's Organization stands in unwavering solidarity with the Uhuru Three, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Chair Jesse Neville, and Chairwoman Penny Hess. We demand their immediate freedom and an end to the ongoing attacks against them and our movement. Since the 2022 FBI raids, AMWO has stood alongside our comrades in the Uhuru movement to ensure that the Uhuru Three do not see one day in prison. As an organization created by the African People's Socialist Party to bring African women into being conscious, revolutionary, political, activated organizers, our members have tirelessly participated in and organized protests, formed and supported local and national committees, and traveled across the country to demonstrate our unwavering commitment to their freedom. In fact, AMWO members were on the scene just hours after the initial raids, standing resolute against the assault on the African liberation. As African women, we are all too familiar with the treachery of U.S. domestic colonial state. This system's foundation is built upon the kidnap, enslavement, and forced exploitation of African women. Yes. Our very wombs were turned into factories, producing generations of laborers for a parasitic economy.
That's right.
The colonial state's attack on our right to be free, to be self-determined, and to resist oppression is nothing new. From silencing and criminalization of mothers whose children are targeted by the family policing system, also known as CPS, to the militarized assault on the Black Power blueprint. These attacks are deliberate attempts to crush African progress. The raids coincided with the launch of a vital community project such as the African Doula Training, a project aimed at improving the lives of African women and their children. Something the U.S. cannot do and will not do, but drags itself all over the world is talk about the equality of women. When right here and right now, women's rights to make a family planning and reproductive choices are under attack. And adding insult to injury, the U.S. government, just months after the raid, had the audacity to name its $25 million initiative for women entrepreneurship in West Africa, the Uhuru Growth Fund, while simultaneously imposing economic sanctions on the Uhuru movement. And these sanctions threaten the very health and economic programs that empower African women, such as the African Doula Project, the African Independence Workforce Program, and the Uhuru Wakulia Freedom to Nurture Health Center. Let there be no confusion, the real Uhuru projects making a tangible difference in the lives of African women are those birthed by the African liberation struggle. Not the hollow initiatives of the U.S. government and their so-called Uhuru Growth Fund is a lie designed to undermine working class efforts to truly address the issues that we are confronted by.
That's right.
And this attack on the Uhuru 3 is not just an attack on individuals, it's an attack on African self-determination, on the right to challenge the colonial mode of production that has kept our people in chains for centuries.
Thank you.
And we call on all women and all freedom-loving people to stand with the Uhuru 3 and the Uhuru movement, not just for this victory that we anticipate tomorrow, but for the ongoing struggle ahead. And no matter the outcome, the fight has already reverberated across borders and political lines, striking a blow against the colonial state that we never expect, that we anticipated and we fought for. So women for Omali, women for Uhuru 3, and women for the Uhuru movement today and always.
So now let's we couldn't hold a rally without featuring our exuberant and powerful Comrade Lisa Davis, Vice Chair. And reparations. Got to remember that the Black Spot Coalition has a last name, and that's reparations.
Uhuru! First of all, let me say without hesitation that the Black is Back Coalition for Social Justice, Peace, and Reparations stands 100% unwaveringly so behind our Chairman Omali Yeshitela and the Uhuru 3, which is makes up Jesse Neville and Penny Hess. We have stood firm from the get-go, from the beginning, unwaveringly so. Yes. And so has people in this movement. I just want to real briefly say, because everybody has really said everything that has to be said, but it has just been an honor knowing Omali Yeshitela and the Uhuru movement for 16 years, and to be able to say that I have never seen him waver. Never seen him responsible from the principles he puts forward. I can't say that about everybody that I've worked with in the movement, but I can absolutely say that about him. And to even see it even more, once he was under attack, I am so proud and honored to stand with him. And also regarding the Uhuru Solidarity movement, I just want to say real quickly, I remember when Charles Byrd, some of you may have heard of him, he was beheaded when a Klansman dragged him through the streets of Texas. They tied him to a pickup truck and dragged him through the streets, and his head came off. And I remember I was in East Orange, New Jersey, that day, and East Orange is a predominantly black neighborhood, and I remembered I was at a city council meeting, and this white woman got up, and she apologized in this black community, East Orange, New Jersey, and I just remembered saying to myself, you say that in front of me, why don't you take it to your own community and say that? Take it to them. Would you go into those white communities and apologize? Well, I'm so glad to say that when I heard of the Uhuru Solidarity movement, those are exactly the kind of things that they did. And I don't want to be a friend if you're just sitting down and eating over lunch. I want to know how you feel about reparations. I want to know how you feel about colonialism. I want to know how you feel about the horrors that happened to indigenous people. And what do you say to your community about that? I ain't interested in what you got to say to mine. What do you say to yours? And can you say that to your community? And I want to say, yes, they do. I've seen them do it. We stand with you. And we're going to be with you tomorrow. And also just one other thing I want to say real quickly, the strongest thing I saw about this movement, and I think it says everything about it, is that they offered a reward of up to $10 million for anybody to say anything, to lie. That's what they do. They get people to lie. And we know people in our community are so vulnerable. They come after them to lie. They threaten them. They bribe them, and they threaten them with arrest and imprisonment. But nobody, they couldn't find one person to do that. And I think that speaks to not just the personalities involved in the Uhuru movement, but the principles and what they're taught. A big difference between being taught to sit down at the colonizer's table as opposed to being taught to overturn colonialism and self-determination. Uhuru, thank you.
We want to welcome Jennifer Sullivan from the Florida Green Party and longtime friend of the Uhuru movement.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh, whoops. Oh, that's okay. Uhuru. Well, I just want to say we are in the nation of indoctrination, and we are right here in this state is the actual laboratory, and we're seeing that. I guess I'm not even talking, but anyway, we're seeing that in who's going to Washington right now. A lot of our. It's nice to get rid of Rubio as our senator, but he's going to be the Secretary of State. Anyway, so I'm just thinking back, like it's happening again. But when I was back in school, in preschool or grade school, and was told that China was evil and communism was bad and bombs could drop on us at any time, and we had these lessons that were full of evil, and like fear, and we were congratulating ourselves for what we've done as a country, and I learned the contrary to what I was being told. When I got into high school, I found out things were different. I started reading Ramparts magazine, and I just found out that we didn't win the West. The West was stolen, and innocent people were slaughtered, and their freedom fighters were called savages. I learned that slaves were not happy, and they were not well cared for on the plantation. Their freedom fighters were whipped, and they were hung on trees. The things I were taught were wrong, and I wondered why. And then I saw that they were serving a purpose, consolidating authority and power, and they have a narrative of why those in power have to have it in the first place. So the most evil, the greedy, the ruthless, they take power and they subjugate everyone else. Well, what I do know that once I found out that what I knew was I was told lies, And so, you know, I found out the real truth, and things like Fred Hampton, when he said, I am a revolutionary, I said, I'm a revolutionary too. I was in Northern Illinois, and I was just a kid, but I wanted to say that the Chairman Omali and the African People's Socialists is a force for good, and they're warriors for justice, only seeking reparations for centuries of a variety of evil. And so they're not just teaching, they're empowering people, and I want to say, Uhuru!
So now up we have, excuse me as now we got Caleb. Oh, this is perfect. Because we have to really salute Caleb Martin and the Center for Political Innovation. I mean, you've seen him all around the world, all around the world, saying so. Right? So you see him in Russia standing up, bringing us to the world stage. So we talking about them elephant stomping, right? And the people coming in support. That's Caleb Martin and the Center for Political Innovation.
It's humbling to be in this room with so many lifelong fighters against imperialism. It's really an honor to be here. And I'll be brief, but I just want to say this. You know, I'm an Irish American, I'm a Protestant Christian, but on my finger you will find an Islamic Akek ring. The reason that I wear that is because when I visited the Islamic Republic of Iran in 2015, I learned the origin of this, and that apparently the temple at Mecca, before it was conquered by Islam, was full of idols. And so the Prophet Muhammad, his followers smashed the idols. And he wore a piece of one of the idols on his finger to commemorate the victory of the one true God over falsity and idolatry. And when I heard that story, I was forced to think of what I read in the work of Thomas Carlyle, the Scottish philosopher.
Yep.
About why it was that so many of the great prophets, Jeremiah, Moses, and so many of them smashed idols. And he said, we don't really believe that ancient people were stupid and they thought they could just carve a piece of wood in their backyard and it would be God. No, originally these idols stood for real truths. But generations went by, generation after generation, and those real truths were forgotten. So the prophets returned to earth to smash those idols, to connect people with the truths that those idols once stood for, with the truths and the principles that they once stood for. And so I've always worn this ring since I visited Iran, and I've always looked up to people who I see as idol smashers, as returners to truth, and that's Chairman Omali. Chairman Omali, the Democrat Party is an idol. The white left is an idol. And I am high time ready to celebrate and stand up for those who smash the idols that hold us back in the struggle to defeat colonialism.
It is an honor now to be joined by our comrade Belinda Parker Brown.
Wow, it feels good up in here. It feels good. You know, it's something about when you're in the right place, Chairman. It feels good. I don't know how y'all was feeling before I got here. But I'm telling you, I'm here and it feels good up in here. And it's looking good, real good. It's packed up in here. Because you're in the right place. For the right time. For such a time as this. But I just want to know, and I hope you can answer this question, Chairman. And that lovely wife sitting right here. Where have y'all been all of my life? See, I got 1 minute, and I'm gonna say this as quick as fast as I can. people is that I had the change around my neck.
Yeah.
I was being dragged by the colonizers.
Yes.
But I knew something was wrong, something just wasn't right. But when I got introduced to this man and his wife, and began to study and see what this work was all about, I realized that I was not going to be held back any longer. So one thing I do want to say, don't wait till the same day to book a flight on Delta. When you know you got to be somewhere, they're going to charge you for it.
So there's so much more I can say, but not enough time. We like to salute our longtime Black is Back Coalition member, new abolitionist, movement leader, and WBAI radio. And if you think you're going to follow the fashion of Sister Betty Davis, I think the only person who brought bring it back to that is Omali Yeshitela. But she said, oh no. But anyway, come on up.
All right, stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up. Stand up. Before I be a slave.
Before I'll be buried in my grave.
I'll be buried in my grave. Before I be a slave, I want to salute you as a, you can sit down now. Because you got a long road to hoe. I've been here as a captive for 80 years in the worst colonial, vicious, capitalist system in the history of humans on this planet. And I'm standing on land. They have done everything they can to exterminate people. Then they apologize, and then they won't let the hero and the warrior of these people free. But they'll let a drug addict go free. And it's interesting to me that the person who's doing all this is the one who's responsible for the crack cocaine legislation in the first place. So all I'm going to say to you is this. I want you to understand why this is all coming about. All right? And one of the things Henry Honey Garnett said was, let your motto be resistance. Resistance. No oppressed people have ever secured their liberty without resistance. What kind of resistance you had better make, you must decide by the circumstances that surround you. And so you see your circumstances. And so we know the resistance that we're going to make on tomorrow. All right, I also want you to understand that one of our comrades, okay, said, liberty is meaningless where the right to utter one's thoughts and opinions has ceased to exist. So those of you who know Frederick Douglass, when you hear him, you understand why you're going to resist tomorrow. And last but not least, I want to tell you about two young 26-year-old men. One strangled a victim of capitalism. The other one dispensed with a vicious leader and benefit of capitalism who's responsible for the death of thousands. I know whose side I'm on. Thank you.
It is an honor to have with us a powerful revolutionary, anti-colonial author, professor, and activist, Natu Saito.
Thank you. It's really an honor and very humbling to be here among this incredible group. And I just wanted to say thank you. I want to say thank you for bringing us together here on what I believe is Mukasa land, where I feel that the ancestors and the spirits of this land are appreciating the resistance and the energy that we see demonstrated today. And I wanted to say thank you for approaching this trial and these struggles in the way that you have done, because what you have done by refusing to play their game, by telling the story that you know to be true in their court, the courts of the conqueror, by doing that, you have brought out the truth.
That's right.
The truth is that nothing that they have tried to pin on you is true.
Yes.
Right? That was just a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and that the full might of the federal government has been brought down on you for telling the truth, for saying we are colonized still here on this land, for telling the truth about what should be done about our history. In other words, what reparations would actually look like. And for building the community rather than asking the government to please save us. And by demonstrating, by acting in a self-determining manner, you have brought down the full weight of the federal government on you. And that tells us something very important. Those are not, in fact, difficult things to do, to tell the truth and to build in our communities.
That's right.
And
That's right.
while we recognize and appreciate that you all are heroes of our movement for the way in which you have stood up and in the way in which has been recognized here today, we don't all have to be heroes to do the work of decolonization. We can all tell the truth. We can all build from the ground up. Thank you.
I need to be taking notes, so I'm going to be returning to that part. We really thank you for that, Professor Saito. That was on point. That was really on point. One thing Chairman talked about and others talked about was how many people this work has brought together. I want to bring up Comrade Mark Friedman, who was a little bit over 2 years ago, December 10th. Because it was at an Action for International Human Rights Day. And on December 11th, Mark had invited us to our very first event showing unity with the Hands Off Uhuru movement. So I really, and he's taken us to Cuba and back twice. So I want to bring you on up, Comrade.
Thank you for this invitation. I come to you more importantly as an official representative of the International Association of Machinists, which decided that this was an important event, that the defense of free speech and demanding not a single jail day for any of the Uhuru 3 was important enough for me to come from Los Angeles to bring you greetings, to thank the African People's Socialist Party for being part of the LA Hands Off Cuba Committee in San Diego and Los Angeles. The accused, the attacks, the assumption of agents of Russia is not unlike what the US government has done to the people of Cuba, and in particularly the Cuban Five. 5 Cuban revolutionists who left their country to be part of underground reporting back to Cuban on the attacks made by Cuban counter-revolutionaries in Miami. They paid for it dearly with 15 years in jail. We are not going to let that happen to any of the revolutionaries. It has been too long that the labor movement has been quiet on the issues of women's rights, immigrant rights, the cop killings that have taken place around the country, the attacks on the LGBT community. But now, I think things are beginning to change. For too long, union officials have only dealt with contract issues. This was wrong. It isolated the labor movement from the black struggle, the women's movement, the Chicano movement, the Puerto Rican struggle. Scores of unions should be here today, but we hope that the IAM sets an example of what needs to be done, because it is a new generation of labor leaders and activists that are today on strike against the Amazon Labor Union at 2 centers in New York. It is the new activist leaders of the UAW, of those who are organizing auto plants in the South, of nurses, of teachers. This is a new generation of young fighters that I believe will be part of the fight for black liberation in this country. We see these changes in the unions representing tens of millions when unions will come out against the US blockade of Cuba. Okay, they will demand that Cuba be removed from the so-called terrorist list, okay, things like that. In ending, I want to say that on behalf of the Cuban people, on behalf of the Machinists Union, but especially on behalf of the Cuban people, to thank the African People's Socialist Party for their decades-long support to the Cuban Revolution. And I want to extend an invitation, as we have done, and Mwizi has come to Cuba with us for 2 years now, to every one of you to come to Cuba, to come see the possibilities of a future that we are building towards. That despite the attacks by the US government for 65 years, the Cuban people are relentless as you are in defending your rights, in defending sovereignty, in defending their right to build a socialist society. So I hope you consider it. Come see me afterwards if you would like to come to Cuba.
Statement. And I also want to say, you know, I want to salute the compas and that we have and the compañeros that are here. Some individuals, some of our comrades speak Spanish exclusively. So, you know, I just want to acknowledge those who are in the Spanish-speaking community. And who, pues sí, tú sabes, puedo hablar en español, pero... Ay, Dios mío. Next, we want to welcome the leader of Friends of the Congo organization who joined us twice on the ground here in St. Pete, building support for the Uhuru 3, Pam Africa.
Sisters and brothers, on behalf of Friends of the Congo, a country I visited again this summer, I'm here to say that we're here standing behind and supporting the Uhuru 3 for the peace and justice that they stand for. And let's be clear, the Democratic Party nor the Republican Party are innocent. That's right. Of the crime of genocide. That's right. Right on. Many people have been made aware of the genocide that's been going on in Palestine, but they're not aware of the millions of people that have been killed in the Congo. And why? Because corporate interest wants to steal the mineral wealth from the Congo. Many people are aware of what's been going on in Palestine, but not aware of the crimes that the U.S. government and the Democrats, as well as the Republicans, are doing against the people of Haiti. And so, let's be clear here. If anybody should be put in jail, well, it should be the Biden administration. And just think about the fact that they had that poor Haitian woman sat up there and lied to the public over and over again about how Biden was not going to stand up and take his son off the hook. Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
That's right.
And I don't see him making any public apologies for having her lie in his behalf. We need to be clear in this country that we have a government, both led by Democrats and Republicans, who are criminals. Who serve the interests of the multinationals as they rob African people. In Africa, in the Caribbean, and Central America as well. So again, free the Uhuru, free.
Long live Revolution. Uhuru. Long live Patrice Lumumba. So, it's a pleasure to welcome this longtime supporter. I will tell you how long is supporter. I think you're gonna like. This supporter has been a part of the solidarity contingent of the Uhuru movement for over 40 years. And you can tell how long he's been a part of the Uhuru Solidarity movement by what I refer to him as Redbeard. No longer has red hair, and he no longer has a beard. So that shows you how long Redbeard.
I want to support the African People's Socialist Party and President Yeshitela for her leadership on the reenactment. In the 70s, an African co-worker of mine named Yakini told me I should talk to the black nationalists. So I did. I talked to party members Aziza and Hiba Sheshe. And I bought the first issue, #1 of the Burning Spear, the big broadsheet. Hiba Sheshe invited us to join the July 4th movement to free Desi Woods in 1978. I salute Desi Woods, Sister Rashida, for her courage. And I salute the party for clarifying that the issue was colonial violence. It was not the women's issue. And I salute the party for their clarity on the national question and for bringing colonialism to the forefront. Most of my volunteer career has been in Uhuru Foods and Pies, and I salute and honor DC Omali Yeshitela. And Comrades Sayali and Comrade Maureen. And isn't it great to be here with Maggie and Kitty and their daughters, Nikki and Annie. I salute Comrade Chimarenga. Everything I've done in this movement since '78 has been Uhuru Solidarity Movement or the struggle for reparations. I salute Jesse Neville, head of Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I salute my wife, Ellen. I couldn't be here without her. She's been my partner for over 40 years in this movement. I salute Penny Hess and APSC. Steadfast, unrelenting, tenacious. A brilliant move by the party. And I salute the hundreds of white folks over the years who have come through the movement, contributed little things and big things. And for different reasons, they can't be here today. But they contributed to the movement, and here we are, each committing bigger, strong. And finally, I salute you, Chairman. For me and my family, you've been a comrade, a mentor, a compass, and a friend. Unwavering, always consistent. And one thing I've always been impressed by with the chairman, I've been to hundreds of meetings and events. And whether there's 5 people there or 55 people, the chairman immediately thanks everyone for coming out. And then gives the full program. Doesn't matter how many people. And finally, and this has really kept me anchored for a long time, you've given us the profound opportunity to be part of the ever-emerging forces of international socialism. Uhuru!
We are happy to welcome Mark Anderson, who's also been a profound supporter of the Uhuru movement in so many ways for more than 40 years.
I have to say that it's only 40 years. You look at these giants here who've been doing it for far longer. Yeah, it was higher for Janaba. I want to salute Chairman, who I know I speak for many of us, changed my life, and of those of so many more. Jesse, who's really shown what the next generation can do for this world. Yeah. And I wanted to speak mostly about Penny, because part of the reason I'm here in person is because I'm at least on backup possibly as a character reference tomorrow, but that may not happen, and if it does, I'm sure I wouldn't be able to say the same things. And I could speak to her character, could speak to her intellect. I know Ward Churchill has pointed out that in another life she could have had a career as a bourgeois academic. But I'd like to point out really the immense capability and capacity she's shown as a leader and as a manager. I think in the movement we often inflate the idea of the skills that exist in the capitalist corporate world in that area. I can tell you as someone who's spent as much time, as many decades in that world as I have supporting this organization, that that's just not true, and her skills are rare. I think one thing we could have all seen in the trial is the life of a professional revolutionary is not glamorous. And we could just see in those terabytes of data, her incredible attention to detail, her just sort of patience with the process, her ability to sort of respond and leave no detail unturned, as well as just her ability to sort of build an organization. There was a mention before about the importance of heroes, and I think like many people in the white community, we grew up being told that people like Thomas Jefferson or Mother Teresa or Rudyard Kipling should be our heroes, and then anybody with their eyes open will learn that those were all horrible people at best, and at worst rapists, murderers, and torturers. But almost done. When I was younger, I would have been too cynical to say, but now I do believe that heroes are important. It's how we learn to behave. And the Uhuru Three constitute leaders, and people we can emulate.
President Matsamela once more to talk more about Impedum.
So I know we're a little bit behind on time, but I want to, as the president, international president of International People's Democratic Movement, really thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank everybody for sticking around. I mean, this is bringing, how should I do it?
Towards you.
Closer to me?
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yes.
Uhuru. So I would like to, but you hear the feedback. Uhuru. So I would like to thank everybody for coming out, for being here today. This really, I think, it's been said over and over again. I really want to begin with how Sister Sight talked about the elephants being able to hear other elephants for hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. She said 6,000 miles away when they stomp, and then the others come in support. And this is that the stomp went out the stomp went out, I want to say July 2nd. That's why I want to say I came up here and I saw the African national flags, red, black, and green, because on July 2nd, 2022 was when the attack was made against this building under the way of a neo-colonial force and military-grade flamethrower doing the work of the United States government, signaling the attack that came on July 29th. With the attack on 5 homes and institutions of the Uhuru movement. So every single person in here, the people we've worked with for decades, we're talking about going back to 1966 in this room to 1972 in this room for over 40 plus years. You heard Redbeard come up and talk about the Desi Woods day. I think that's July 4th, 1979, if I'm correct. That day of action, right? That was a clarion call was put out, and you all showed up. So I really want to give you all a round of applause for that. I'll just say about my organization, and I got here, right? This is some gear we credit saluting the Junta of Militant Organizations, the Black Power organization formed here in St. Petersburg, Florida by Chairman Omali Yeshitela in 1968. I want to note that the Junta, the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement was formed in 1991 in Chicago, Illinois on April 6th. That was the day when in 1968, little Bobby Hutton, the youngest member of the Black Panther Party, was assassinated. Chicago, Illinois, December 4th, 1969 was where Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were assassinated, signaling essentially the government's conclusion of that assault against the Black Panther Party. But underneath the leadership, the strategy of Chairman Omali Yeshitela was in 1991 that the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement was created. It was created and observably so in a defensive posture to defend the African community against the attack, the counterinsurgency attack waged against African independence. However, what we've seen in the 33 years since then is us move from the defensive to the offensive. And the Hands Off Uhuru campaign, of which the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement have been a stalwart member of that campaign, represents that offensive. We heard about the work of the Black Power Blueprint, the economic work, the solidarity work, the mass work by way of the coalition work of the Black is Back Coalition. All of this represents us going on offensive. All of this represents us overturning that verdict of colonialism, right? But not just for African people and colonized people. Right, you heard even people come from the colonizer population who refused. That Desi Woods campaign was important because that's people say, look, we want to be free, but we don't want our freedom to be at the expense of other people, and that's what happened. So 600 years ago, when Africa came under attack, that's what happened. A better life was taken away from us, so a better life would be given to white people. And we have to understand that. But in multiple iterations today, we say we're going to all move into history, into the future together. That is what this is about today. That is what tomorrow is about. That's why tomorrow don't stop at tomorrow. Right. If the judge ripped open his thing, or came out in a red, black, and green gown and said, you know what, y'all right, Comrades, Uhuru, where do I sign up? He already said, hey, over here they're known as the Uhurus. He said that. Didn't he say that? He said they're not Black Lives Matter, they the Uhurus. Judge know what's up. Judge know what's up. We walked to 1,000 houses yesterday, and my legs feel it. My legs feel it. We walked 1,000. It would have been easy to walk 1,000 miles, and we walked to 1,000 houses in 6 hours yesterday. And every single person knew the story, knew who Joe Waller was, knew who Omali Yeshitela was, and was waiting for the That's what mass organization is about. That is what this is about, y'all. So it don't stop tomorrow. If you think tomorrow's where it stops, then you're wrong. Tomorrow's where it begins. Tomorrow's where the future of us being free begins.
Yes.
That is what tomorrow is about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That is what tomorrow is about. And that's why coming into this building right here, you step into history. You don't just step into 60 plus years of history of the Uhuru movement. You step into 600 years of African liberation history. It's on the walls, it's in the books, it's in the libraries. They thought that they killed this movement with the imprisonment of Garvey. But I tell you this, their response to the colonial state's response to Garvey's position as they shipped him out, his defined position as they shipped him out, the brother was dressed sharp too, right?
Like Chairman?
Exactly. They same befuddlement around the people's response to Garvey, and Garvey's defiance is the same befuddlement they had when Chairman walked out September when they gave us the not guilty verdict, and everyone said Uhuru, everyone said we are winning, right? Because that is what it is about. That is why I'm here, that is why you are here. So I didn't write any of that stuff down, and it's even better that I probably didn't write it down. I feel better about what I just said. So on this point, what I want to do, I know we're going to open up an open mic. I know Comrade Jesse, DJ Eddie, and then there's Comrade Tarper.
Yeah, Tarper.
And also Tarper wanted to come up. So we're going to have about a 5 to 7 minute open mic period. We're going to hold the speeches to 1 minute.
Winning donations.
Oh, you said winning donations? Who said that?
If you want to donate, go to handsoffuhuru.org. But you know, today we about to eat. So,
right.
But yeah.
And because we want to really recognize the fact that, hey, y'all heard Belinda Parker said, if you know a place you gotta be, don't buy no ticket with Delta today. Right? They taxing at these hotels right here, right? They taxing. So we understand the unity and the support you all came and coming this way, but we also just want to let you all know, if you do want to continue support, we are still raising resources for the appeal and everything. You can go to handsoffuhuru.org/donate.
And just to clarify, by eating, we're having a caramu at the end of our program. So that is, that's what we're leading to.
Uhuru. So, DJ Eddie, come on up.
Uhuru.
Come on. All right, DJ Eddie, set us straight.
This is it, huh?
I said, set us straight, DJ Eddie.
Where everybody at? I don't see y'all, but I hear y'all. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming out in support of the Uhuru 3. I just want to give my support to the Uhuru 3 and Black Power 96.3 radio station. We wanted to support Chairman Omali Yeshitela, just as Devil and PDS, for the struggle they have been in for this long period when the FBI targeted this very building and several buildings around the country to destroy. That's what the colonial system does. It comes to kill and destroy. But we have not let that phase us stop one bit. I heard someone say earlier about the chairman didn't flinch at all. Jesse and Penny. When I first heard, let me tell you something. Speaking of flinching, people don't know that I was one of the first persons the people FBI called. 5:30 in the morning, I got a phone call for the FBI. I thought it was a damn joke. I was like, who? The FBI. I said, yeah, but it was serious, so I knew to call my leadership, Director Shimberi Mawala, and I told him, I'm headed down there. Shimberi's like, no, Eddie, don't go down there. But I was on my way because I wasn't going to flinch. I was going to do my job. My job people. Support the return of what is going on, what is about to happen. You know, and I just wanted to be here to support. I said Black Power 96 supporting the Uhuru 3, and I made a statement on the radio all this week that Miss Patti LaBelle is coming to town, and I wanted to give away a couple of tickets right here. So I put on the radio, if you would come out, that I would give away a couple of tickets to see Miss Patti LaBelle, and the tickets are over $100 a piece. So we didn't have time, we didn't get the raffle tickets together, but what I'm gonna do to give away the first ticket is to ask the Chairman Omali Yeshitela to give me a day, a month, and a day. And if you have an ID that matches that, then you're gonna be in town Wednesday, 8 p.m. this coming Wednesday, see Patti LaBelle, you'll be able to go. And if it's more than 3 people that have that same date, I'm going with the eldest person. Okay, so Chairman Omali Yeshitela, can you give me a month and day? Well, 9?
No, 10. 9. How many numbers are you looking for?
Just a month and day. October 9th? October 9th. That's his birthday, y'all. You gonna be in town, Chairman?
Comrade Montebello said he'll take that same day ticket.
All right, 10. July 29th. July 29th. The attack of the FBI. July 29th. Anybody born?
Anybody have
July 29th?
or the closest date to that? Who's got the closest birthday? Oh,
July 28th. You're gonna be in town Wednesday. $100 ticket.
well, who will be in town? Will you be in town Wednesday?
No.
Who's gotta be? Oh, right here. This sister right here. All right. On the 2nd? All right, there it is.
August 2nd.
All right, perfect.
And the next one I'm going to call, I'm going to make it quick and easy. I'm going to say March 3rd.
That's me right here.
Will you be in town?
Will you be in town?
Will you be in town to see Patti LaBelle? Huh?
What do you say?
Will you be in town to see Patti LaBelle? It's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. Don't want to give away a $100 ticket.
I'm here right now.
Well, what the statement is, I don't want to give away a $100 ticket if you're not going to go. I don't want to.
I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Well, let's go. That's it. Okay. And again, free of the Uhuru 3.
We had room for, I know that Tarper, representative from Tarper, is that person in the building? Yes? Oh, please do. 60 seconds? Yeah. Take a minute.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to express our support to Chairman Yeshitela and the Uhuru 3. We, the Tampa Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression, stand with Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the Uhuru 3, the African People's Socialist Party, the Black community, and the struggle for liberation of all people led by the working class and oppressed nationalities. The Uhuru 3 are known for their relentless activism. They are Chairman Omali Yeshitela, founder and leader of the African People's Socialist Party, Penny Hess, chairperson of the African People's Solidarity Committee, and Jesse Neville, national chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Both Neville and Hess are white, working to build solidarity among the white community for Black power, reparations, and freedom. We also support Akile Anai, arrested as an unindicted co-conspirator. She is director of agitation and propaganda of the African People's Socialist Party. For more than 50 years, Chairman Yeshitela and the Uhuru movement have been fighting for the civil human rights of Black people, including the right to freedom of speech and reparations for hundreds of years of free labor under slavery. In 1966, Chairman Omali Yeshitela and other revolutionaries ripped down and confiscated from the walls of City Hall in St. Petersburg, Florida, the racist mural which had the Jim Crow government greeted, with which the Jim Crow government treated all attendees, mocking Black people and promoting hatred and apartheid. Since then, Uhuru's battle has been against a system that exploits and oppresses the black community, and millions more inside the US and throughout the world, has been a long one. For decades, Uhuru has been working to get representation on municipal, regional, and national elections. More than 20 years ago, the chairman himself ran for mayor of the city. They don't need the Russians or any other country to teach them, lead them, or encourage them to fight against the ills they are well aware and struggling against for more than 5 decades. The chairman and Uhuru have never stopped fighting for freedom for African people in the US everywhere. He was inspired in his youth by anti-colonial movements around the world and the struggle for black liberation inside the US. Today, at 84, he continues to be an inspiration for freedom-loving people in our region, the Tampa Bay area, St. Louis, Missouri, Oakland, California, and other cities throughout the country, and he continues to serve as a beacon and guide to the thousands of people he has visited and shared vision with throughout the world. Long live Chairman Omali Yeshitela and the Uhuru movement. Defend the Uhuru 3. When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up. When the working class is under attack, what do we do? Stand up. When you're doing your job, you expect to be attacked. If you're not attacked, you got work to do.
And we got one more. We got Comrade Ron from the Partisan Defense Committee. Want to come up and say a statement. Uhuru, 1 minute.
Uhuru, comrades. So one of the things I'd like to talk about is our campaign, Open the Police Archives, OPA. And what we're trying to do is to revive the movement and to rebuild the movement. So recently we have been involved in defending the family of Eric Dupre. Eric Dupre was a young man who was killed by the cops. They threw a water cooler on him and killed him. And we have organized, for his defense. We worked with the BLM movement and some other organizations to fight for his, to fight for the defense of his family. Another case that we are working on is defending Ronald Green. This is a young man who was killed by the cops in Farmersville, Louisiana. Okay, so could I just have 20 more seconds? So recently, transit workers in New York are under attack. I'm a former transit worker. You had a case where a Brooklyn bus driver was stabbed by an unruly passenger and killed. People are being spat on, beaten, stabbed, under the attack. The working class needs to defend themselves. And in the case of Daniel Penny, defending him, I think, is just as important as defending members of the working class because of what was going on with him with the Neely case. So I call on people. I have a list here. People could sign up to do work with the Open the Police Archives campaign. Thank you.
Thank you. Right before we reach the conclusion of the program, I do, we have Indian food that is waiting, vegan or vegetarian options, as well as options for meat eaters. And so, I don't know why I did that. Y'all know why I did that. Because it's always options, right? It's like when they started making foundation colors for African skin. Anywho. Yeah, that's what I'm about to. So now we're gonna I'm gonna introduce Comrade Kenge to talk about the logistics portion, and then we will adjourn and karamu, which means feast in Swahili.
All right, now, so I'm supposed to talk
talk to you about logistics and, I'm gonna take my gloves off because I'm trying to prepare this delicious meal for everyone as well too. Over at the front desk, where you signed in at, you will find this information as well, but remember tomorrow morning, there is a press conference at 8 a.m. in front of the Tampa Federal Courthouse. People should have the address, which is 801 North Florida Avenue. The sentencing hearings begin at 9 a.m. There's no parking, no designated parking, no, what do you call those things? Parking garages or whatever. So you'll either have to, I suggest that you get there early. If you're caravanning with someone, please coordinate your effort to get there. Again, the sentencings begin at 9, then another at 10, and another at 11. The chairman, Penny, and Jesse, in that order, 9, 10, and 11. Following the sentencing hearings, there will be a press conference right outside of the courthouse, so if you do not have to leave immediately, please join us for the press conference. Immediately following the press conference, lunch will be at Armature Works, which is at 1910 North Ola Avenue. Again, you can get that information over at the front desk. We will go there. If you're not staying for the press conference, you're welcome to go there immediately. Begin eating, having your lunch, and others will join you there afterwards. What else can I tell you? The address, everyone should have the address for the courthouse. Please, if you're not on the emergency response, sign up for the emergency response, so in the event that we have to communicate any changes to you immediately, we can do that, and it'll be done through the emergency response just as it was during the trial. Again, as was during the trial, we're asking that everyone respect this process as much as we can. And that is no political attire in the courtroom. Follow whatever the process is. You're going to go through a metal detector. Leave your phones in your cars at your hotel or wherever it is. There is a hotel right across the street that will hold your phone for you. So you're welcome to go over there, and they will hold your phone, which is immediately across the street. But don't bring your cell phones even up to the door, because you're not going to be able to get through the detector with that. Take out any weapons, what do you call that, pepper spray. Make sure you have valid identification. If you do not have valid identification, again, you will not be allowed to even go through the metal detector. Smartwatch, take off your smartwatch, because they're not going to let you through with the smartwatch as well. No phones, no weapons, no political attire. Courtroom number 7, if there's an overflow, which would be, I'm assuming it'll be the same place, which was 13B. If you're in Tampa, there are ways to get around, and most of you are probably, if you're in Tampa, probably staying close to the court. Obviously, you can walk there. If not, please organize your transportation to do that. If you are in St. Pete and need transportation, there are several things that I need from you. I need you to go over to the desk. Kenya's holding up the sign. You need to put your name and your phone number down there that you need a ride from St. Pete. In addition, if you are a driver in St. Pete, or even if you're in Tampa, but you're able to transport people, there's another list over there. I need you to put your name on that list as well. Let me know that you can transport people and how many. If there's more than one of you that are traveling together, 10 of y'all and all of you need a ride, put 10 people down so that we know to organize several vehicles. You will need to be here at the Uhuru House at 6:50 a.m., 10 minutes to 7. At 7:00 on the DOT, the cars and vans that are organized here will leave going to Tampa. It takes about maybe 35, sometimes 40 minutes to get across the bridge now with traffic on a Monday morning most specifically, and then to find parking so that everyone can be at the press conference. Is there anything I left out, anybody? I think I, look, who's it here? All right, now to the good part, for the eating. The way that is going to go. I'm going to take my speakers, I'm going to start with this side first, and then this side. You're going to go through this back door here that says Home of Uhuru Foods. You're going to go through the front office. On the red table, you will find your silverware, your plates, and your rice and samosas. On your black table, you will find your main course. You'll have a choice of either vegan or meat. Once you get your plate, please come this way. Out here on the green table, you will find punch, water, and delicious Uhuru pies for dessert. Again, the Indian is what we're having today. So again, we've got options for both vegans and both non-vegans. If you have any questions, please feel free to see me, but most importantly, make sure you get the information over here from the front desk. Make sure you get signed up to either provide transportation or that you need a ride. Uhuru.
All right. Comrades, what an incredible gathering that we had today. We had some powerful presentations from the history and the mission of the African People's Socialist Party, to the critical insights on solidarity. And we've been reminded of the ongoing struggle for our democratic rights and the importance of staying vigilant and the importance of staying united. So today, we're standing shoulder to shoulder with the Uhuru 3, united in fighting against colonialism, imperialism, and all forms of oppression that seek to strip us of our dignity. We're here not just as individuals, but as a collective force determined to overturn colonialism. And our revolution is grounded in the understanding that true liberation can only be achieved through self-determination, political consciousness, and economic power. We had a victorious win against the government in the trial of the century and continue with the sentencing tomorrow, Monday, December 16th at the Tampa Federal Courthouse. And as we prepare to leave today, let's not forget that this is just the beginning. The struggle continues, and we must carry this energy and determination from this rally into our daily lives, into our community, and into every action that we take. So before we close, I want us to all raise our voices in unity, and we're going to send a message that's going to echo far beyond these walls. And we're going to say, hands off Uhuru, hands off Africa. Hands off Uhuru. Hands off Africa. Hands off Uhuru. Hands off Africa. Hands off Uhuru. Hands off Africa. All right, comrades, let's cut and move. So let's begin with our